So we found out about Be The Match through one of our good friends named Juliet. One of her cousins was diagnosed with leukemia a couple years ago, and unfortunately she passed away about a week ago. And so we've been participating in Be The Match for about a year or so. And this founding year is when we actually started and began the club.
In middle school, one of my close friends was diagnosed with lymphoma, and she received, when she was about 13, she received a bone marrow transplant from someone from Texas. So ever since then I was interested in it because she's still alive today because of the transplant. So I think that also educating people, especially young students, on why it's important will help encourage people to say yes to actually going through with the transplant.
SAMAR, as some of you may know, was founded in 1992, is a community-based philanthropic partner of the congressionally authorized Be The Match Registry. We serve patients who need a stem cell transplant for leukemia and other fatal blood disorders for a cure.
You are going to witness a special night of human drama and selfless giving and survival. You will witness the compassion and human spirit at its best. This is a night of joyous celebrations of life and a testimony to the work of SAMAR. The spirit of this event resonates with the saying you all will probably know, who's a Nobel laureate, Rabindranath Tagore. He said, "Life is given to us and we earn it by giving it." So it was a beautiful saying that we have picked up from there. We have been through a range of emotions. We have shed tears of joy and sadness, and we have had moments of great joy and some moments not of joy. But we keep on working, and we've become a family with all the patients and some of the donors who have been very close to us.
I was 16 years old when I was first diagnosed, and when I first met Mrs. Khan. I had just graduated high school early. I skipped a grade, and I was an honor student actually. And unfortunately, my world crumbled when I received the diagnosis that I got leukemia. I wasn't going to let the illness define me. So I was receiving treatment at Sloan Kettering, and the doctors there wanted me to get a bone marrow transplant, but the results came back that none of my family members were a match, and so I became a little discouraged. This is because I knew the chances of finding a match from the general public would be very low. And so this was my state of mind and my situation when I went to see Mrs. Khan. I remember going to NYU with Mrs. Khan and handing out flyers. We spoke to students and the staff. She wanted me to tell my story, so I did. And we stressed the importance of donating bone marrow, joining the Marrow Donors Program. We spoke about the low percentage of Southeast Asian in the registry, and we encouraged people to join.
For you to take time out of your busy lives to become a donor, were you sure you wanted to take up something that could mean, maybe being out for weeks, running in and out of the hospital, of your physician's office? Sounds like a huge time commitment to me.
So in my case, it was a different situation. One of my good friends was diagnosed with leukemia, and when he was diagnosed, that was when we were introduced to SAMAR. And we, as friends all across the Northeast, were doing registration drives in the hope that we would find him a donor. Unfortunately, he passed away. So when I came up as a match, it was as if I was achieving something that I was hoping to do for him. So the time, which wasn't a huge time constraint, wasn't even a concern. It was more that I was fulfilling a promise that I had made a friend.
So when I got a call that I'm the match, and I know there's some time commitment, but it wasn't that much, and I have 2 kids and they get sick, I take a day off, so this is nothing different than that. So there's not much time commitment to this.
Through SAMAR, I discovered that in this world of so much polarization and division, it is just a small act of love, kindness, and compassion which binds us at mesoteric level. Our lives are the result of our own choices. The pursuit of worldly success and climbing up the corporate ladder often does not feed our soul. Thank you, SAMAR, my dear SAMAR family, Uncle, Auntie, Ron, Rashi, and all our volunteers through the decades for preventing that vacuum from defining my life's journey. Thank you again, SAMAR, for letting me have the privilege and the honor to have been part of dozens of recruitment drives, campaigns, which have registered thousands of people. The gift of life, as was mentioned earlier, is in giving. And my sincerest gratitude to all of you for having given me so much.
But, when I signed up with SAMAR, I never actually expected to match. I think a lot of people go into it thinking that. I even ended up donating at my own hospital. It's a really familiar environment. But, I felt a little distance from the process because, of course, I didn't know who James was at the time. And I'm afraid that if it hadn't been as convenient as it was, then I might not have made it happen. I might have gotten distracted along the way and wouldn't have, ended up making the final donation, which would have obviously been such a missed opportunity. But then after my donation, that Christmas, I got a card in the mail, and we didn't know who each other were yet, but I knew who it was from, and it said thanks, and it sounded like he was doing well, and it said Merry Christmas, and that was the first clue I had that he was even alive. So.